Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Cory, and thanks for checking out another episode. Got a really special guest with me today, Hunter Mackay from the Pacific Northwest. And Hunter, what's going on, man?
Oh, just trying to crush my incredibly large territory. Spokane, Seattle, you think I'm insane for driving the way that I do, but got a mobile office, internet's on my car, I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's the new way real estate is done, right? I mean, mobile from the car, and now like you can just pop open the laptop, the tablet, do whatever you need to do, wherever you need to do it. It's the modern way of doing real estate. So
COVID was the best thing that ever happened to my business because it finally taught everyone how to work like me. I hadn't ever gone into the office. I believed that the office was where people, talked around the water cooler and complained that the market was going up or down instead of actually selling houses. And so for me, I always teach my clients and my agents, go out, be in the public, be out with them, and go to a Starbucks.
You know how much money I've made at Starbucks over the year? I can't even tell you, just because that's where we met people. I mean, that was the easiest place. But before we get into that, introduce yourself to all of our viewers and listeners, a little bit about who you are, who you are. Obviously, you're in the Pacific Northwest. You've already said where you're at, but also who you are, one interesting fact about yourself, and then start rolling into how long you've been in real estate, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So as you already said, my name's Hunter Mackay. I run a team of about 25 agents out of the Seattle area and then also Spokane. And, I've been in the business for 6 years. I think this is my 6th year licensed, but my family has been in real estate for generations. I'm a 3rd generation real estate broker. Both of my parents were developers in Las Vegas during the 80s and 90s. And so I have a lot of experience in it. Currently, we're on track we just did 100 million last year, and we're on track for probably doubling that this year if we hit all of our milestones. And yeah, we're really excited about the growth.
Dude, that's awesome. You know how monumental that is for a team builder like yourself to actually go out and break that $100 million volume mark? It's huge.
It's funny that it doesn't feel that huge to me yet. Like I look at it and I knew that it was a big, hairy, audacious goal, but now that we're doing it, it's way easier than hitting 50 million. And that sounds ridiculous, but 25 million was fun. There was tons of money in the bank. 50 million sucked. 50 million was just the worst. I think I almost went bankrupt that year. And 100 million, I'm seeing, headway again, going, okay, I remember why I built this team.
Yeah, right. Well, dude, come on. The BHAG, you got to go $1 billion.
Oh yeah, no, our BHAG for the next 10 years is 1,000 units sold. 75 agents across 3 cities, and we'll be opening up Sacramento in that time frame in order to acquire that many deals. But right now we're focused on Washington.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that. So you've only been doing this 6 years?
Yeah. I
mean, licensed 6 years. You've already built a $100 million business. What does that translate to in your market-wise for gross commission income?
So we're running at a little bit shortened commissions right now because everyone's trying to shortchange each other. I would say that I think our net rev last year was around 3 million, maybe 3.5.
Dude, that's fucking awesome, man. $3 million. Like, think about that. You just produced more commission than the average agent makes in their lifetime. No, probably way less than the average agent makes in their lifetimes. Excuse me for saying that. You made $3 million in commission. Like, that's huge, dude. Like, and you're on a pathway right now to breaking 10 million with your team, and that's unheard of. It really is unheard of in the marketplace. I mean, you're a prime example of, how effective a mega team, building a mega team can be in producing revenue for your business. Are you seeing that though? Like, the more agents that you bring on to the team, the more volume that you're producing, or are you seeing it being affected by something else?
Well, agent count definitely increases the volume, but it's also about systems. In the beginning, I had this really bright idea that since I was so successful my first year, I didn't have any systems. I got welcomed onto a team as a buyer's agent. I got given an assistant. I handed a Zillow phone and said, go sell. And I sold like 50 or 60 homes my first year. And it was funny because the agent that I had been assisting at the time was someone who I didn't go to work for because she said, I'm sorry, I can't afford to have a buyer's agent. I pay you $16 an hour. I can't pay you part of the commission. And I said, well, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to go be a buyer's agent for someone else. And in that first year, I doubled her volume, and she was an agent of 22 years, and she did everything by referral. And my first year, I doubled her volume. And I went back and I called her. I said, "Do you still think you can't afford me?" And she goes, "Don't rub it in. I'm so happy for you." And so what I've really learned is that it's one about hard work. My first year, I took every client that was handed to me, and it didn't matter if they were an $80,000 mobile home or an $8 million home. They were all getting the same A-level service. And so it's one, build your brand. Two, it's build your systems, because building a mega team without the systems behind it, sure, you can add agents, but your agent count won't equate to more deals if you haven't taught them what to do. And so that's really what I've enjoyed just experiencing your coaching program, is that I knew that I had systems, but learning how to tweak, refine, and perfect them is really what is allowing me to now double down on building agent count and knowing that it will result in actual future sales.
Dude, I'm totally there with you, because obviously my business has grown because of agent count, lead generation, and systems. Those are those three keys, I feel like those are the three keys to really building a good mega team. The one, that one part of that process that actually just takes you to a whole nother level is that leadership side. But yeah, like systems, you got to have them. And a lot of times I feel like people just make them way too freaking complicated.
Oh, they resist them, they challenge them. They're like, could we do 6 of them instead of 1? No, pick one system that you understand how to use, that everyone can get behind. Use the CRM that you love. Love the CRM that you use. Your life will get better for it.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be duplicatable. And that's the thing. Would you rather have 2 agents that do your system perfect, or would you rather have 30 agents who do your system 80% of the way? I'm going to take the 30 agents that do 80% of the way, because my results will be tremendously magnified. And building a mega team means you're in the B quadrant. You've gone from the S quadrant being self-employed and specialist and a small business to the B quadrant, where you actually have a business that runs and operates without your direct involvement. And you've done that in like 6 years. You went from a buyer's assistant to a buyer's agent. What was the thing that actually made you go like, I'm going to go start a team? Like, that's what, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to build a business.
That's a little bit of a loaded question. I guess it's always your boss, That was what led me to be a buyer's agent. I loved my first boss that I was an assistant for, and she was the first person in real estate that I had worked for outside of my family. And I love her to pieces, but she's insane on a good day. And she is stressed out, and she took 2 vacations a year. I ran her office when she was gone for those 2 months, and I learned that I was capable of doing it without her, and that I did it better. Her clients were happier, and she was less stressed. And so to me, that really cued me into, well, how can I create a team like this? And so then I thought, well, maybe I'll go be a buyer's agent before I just launch a team. And I thought that I would help grow that team. And ultimately, I took that assistant and I left because the assistant wasn't being paid. I wasn't getting the leads that I was promised. I was being lied from the upper management, and it just wasn't a culture and accountability sector that I wanted to be a part of. And
so you're saying a typical real estate office, right? A typical,
basically,
typical real estate office you find on every street corner, it seems like.
Yeah, it wasn't anything special. It was just a bummer because it wasn't anything special. And so I really decided that, I had grown up in a real estate office where my parents rewarded every single person every time a deal closed. It didn't matter if they were part of that deal or not. Everyone got rewarded because we succeeded as a team. And it was expensive, but they were the top real estate brokers of their day. My parents have every award stuffed in a box somewhere in the garage. We don't even look at them. It doesn't matter. They were top number 1 and 2 for Better Homes and Gardens back when Better Homes and Gardens was the hottest shit in town. And so to me, it's all about taking care of your clients, but also taking care of your agents first. That way they feel comfortable taking care of their clients in the right way. And so it's all this very symbiotic thing that just isn't present in most brokerages. And I really wanted to create a family where we could take care of each other.
Yeah, you've heard me say this plenty of times, but as a business owner in real estate, as a true team leader of a mega team, your client are your agents. That's who your client is. For you and I, our client is the agents, our customers are buyers and sellers, right? But our client, though, the person that we're serving and we're here to serve and we're here to help, coach, develop, give tools and resources to, that's the agent. That's the agent.
Absolutely.
And that's a big mental shift for people to go, wait a second, my client's not buyers and sellers. No, it's a customer. A customer is very transactional. And yeah, you want them to refer people and you want them to come back, no doubt about it. But your client, the person that's gonna go out and create sales for you every single month, is the agent. And they just don't get that. But to your point, like your parents took care of them, you're taking care of them, and that's totally awesome. That's a big nugget you just dropped right there. The mentality behind like how you take care of your agents. Your agents as a team leader are not your slaves, not at all. Quite the complete 180-degree opposite.
No, we really espouse servant leadership. As a leader in our world, you're really not necessarily the lowest person on the totem pole, but you're going to go clean the toilets. You're there to take care of the team. If they need you to do something, you have 2 hands and 2 feet. You don't get to sit on a chair and command your slaves to go work. You are their slave too. Go help them. And it's really important to lead that from the top down.
Leaders eat last, man. Leaders eat last, right there in the military. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to your point, like I look at my business. I mean, you know, we made almost $10 million in commissions and, you know, did 300 and some odd million dollars in sales volume. But here I was last week taking the freaking trash out. The trash was full. The assistant was out sick. Somebody's got to take the trash out. I'll take the trash out. But see, that's what a lot of people miss.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
All right, so everyone that's watching right now is someone who is wanting to build a mega team. So what is a pitfall that you would actually tell them to avoid on the pathway to doing that?
I guess for me is like really outlining where your milestones are for growth and hitting them accurately and making sure you don't hang out in the sucky middle for too long. Because when I started, I wasn't really aiming to start a mega team. I actually didn't think I wanted one. I thought that I wanted a core group of 5 to 15 people, and then I would replicate that core group of gladiators in each city. I've learned that just doesn't work. It's not replicatable, it's not duplicatable. You can't expect systems to flow from that kind of size. You get people that either are working too hard or not hard enough, and there's just discordant behaviors in that kind of segment. And so I wish that I had known that going in, and I just would have made the commitment to either never expand beyond 5 people or crush it all the way to 25, because the space in between is where I lost so much money. I lost agents, I lost time, I lost commitment. I didn't even want to continue building a team for about 2 years because my mother got sick and got cancer right on top of just everything hitting the fan. And then COVID happened. And I was like, all right, shoot it or raise it. Because that's what we have always said in our family. You either keep something and you raise it and you are committed to it for life, or you shoot it and you be done with it. There is no in between. And so for me, I finally woke up on the morning of COVID and I went, all right, we're raising this bitch. And we went to 100 million and 25 agents and we're on track. Beautiful.
Yeah, and remember what I told you about that, the black hole, like the death trap of a team?
Oh my God, I mean, it's real.
It's 100% real. You are either you either need a small team around you, couple buyers agents, and you're the listing agent, and you got a bunch of people around you serving you. That's how you're gonna stay super profitable, or you gotta blow the bitch up. Like you said, you just gotta blow the thing up. You gotta go to 20 plus agents, be a level 7 team, because
commit to the growth, commit to the pain, commit to the expansion, commit to the hurt, because it's all worth it at the other end. And if you don't, it's not worth it.
Yeah, because your fixed costs with 6 agents for your CRM system and 20 agents is practically the same, but the problem is the CRM represents a bigger number on your profit and loss statement. You know, all these things are bigger when you have 6 agents, and as you keep growing and growing and growing, CRM system, it's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket on the P&L.
And 2 agents get sick with COVID, and you've got 6 people, you're shit fucked in that situation. You're not cleaning up that mess no matter how many people you've got. You have 30 people and half of your team goes out sick, you can actually survive that.
Absolutely. All right, so you talked about a pitfall, but dude, share a secret. Like, what's a secret people can take away? Like, you're a level 17 leader. Like, you got over 20 salespeople on your team. You're doing over $100 million of volume. Like, what is it? What nugget can you actually drop right here for people to take away?
So to me, this is the most important nugget, and I think some of the viewers are going to be displeased with it until they actually internalize it and realize that it's real. And it's just working harder. It's just doing the hard work that you know you're supposed to, and you're putting off. You're procrastinating, you're answering your email, you're going to 3 meetings that don't matter. You're occupying your time with things that you think are relevant, and they're just not. People might be upset with you for not doing them, but that's the only impact of you not doing it. They will be upset. They can have hands and pick up the thing that you put down because it is not your highest and best use. And so everyone needs to figure out how to delineate and delegate their other tasks, because that was the biggest thing for me. Learning that I didn't have to write every offer that I wrote. Learning that I didn't have to communicate every update to a client. Learning that everything didn't have to fall on my shoulders, and to delegate to leaders that I had taught my systems left me with enough time to where every time I hand something off now, it's like a hydra. There's 7 new, more important things underneath it that I wasn't even aware of because I was holding on to this thing. And so now it's just about handing off these pieces as fast as possible to people that I know are committed to my mission and will leave me the space to work harder on building a bigger vision.
And do you ever notice this? The bigger your business gets, the bigger the reason that you're just really there to solve problems, point out problems and solve them. Like, hey, there's a hole. Let's talk about how to fix it, because really everything's running with you. But to your point, yeah, absolutely. You got to put in the work, man. Like, it's going to be there. You know, people look at me and they're like, wow, you started a team in 2016 and 6 years later, you know, you did all this volume. Yeah, but you failed to realize I've had my real estate license since 2006. You know, I'm going into my 16th year in real estate, and
you've gone bankrupt how many times?
Yeah, twice already. You know what I mean? Like, I won, I lost, I won, I lost, I won, but you know what I mean? But you just keep getting better. You just keep getting better. So, dude, I really appreciate you taking the time today to drop some. There was tons of stuff people are going to take out of this, and super excited that you spent the time with me. We paid it forward. We're giving it back to agents, and I really appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you so much for having me, Blake. I really appreciate being here and having the opportunity to share. You know, I encourage everyone to do the extra work, get up an hour earlier, read that book, read 10 pages a day. You know, that was the biggest thing for me. I started reading, and I used to read voraciously as a child. I read 300 books in 1 year when I was in high school. And granted, I didn't sleep and I didn't have any responsibilities, so it was easy. But now I make a commitment to read 1 book a week. And that's harder some weeks than others, but everyone can commit to reading 1 book a month.
So
because
what are you reading?
An average, right now?
Yeah.
Servant Leadership. It's a really short book written by Liam Taylor. Not my favorite read, but really good content. I think he needs to tell more stories. You know, I think Simon Sinek is a much better leadership author in that way. But just the things that I'm reading right now are, you know, how to be empathetic, how to be compassionate, how to really care for your team. And it's things that I already know. It's just interesting to get other people's takes on it. And I always try to take one thing away from a book that I can immediately go and implement into my team. And they really appreciate it, because I'm not learning from myself. I'm learning from the mistakes of other people. And I'm getting to compound decades of knowledge into my brain and then feed it back to my team as fast as I can.
Cool. Awesome, man. Well, hey, for all of you guys who are watching and listening, down below in the comment section, you're going to see Hunter's Facebook and IG and all that kind of stuff. Go follow him. Watch as he continues on this journey to selling 1,000 houses. Hunter, thanks for being here, dude. And thanks for everybody watching and listening today. You guys making an awesome one.